On today's episode, our very own Marquise celebrates a birthday. The team talks travel, highlighted memories, and bucket list destinations. Millions across America observe Veterans Day. Rappers T.I. and Drake make news headlines, and the team shares plans for the upcoming holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it.
It's the Janae Latrice podcast. Janae Latrice podcast. Yeah. Janae Latrice.
And it's also always in the gutter as well, so there's that.
And I think that's why we get along so
Because
well.
your minds are in the gutter? Wow.
Maybe not in the well, people have dubbed it the gutter, but really I just think it's an alternative way of thinking.
It is a magical, smutty place, and I love it.
Magical smut.
Speaking of magical, smutty places, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Janae Latrice podcast, the happy hour of podcasts, where, of course, young Black creatives come together to discuss our worlds and take what we need. I am your host, Janae Latrice, and I am joined, of course, as always, by the incredible Erica Emack, the queen. Come on, that's you. Yeah, hey. And the one and only birthday boy. Make some motherfucking noise for Marquise, right? Lee, happy birthday to you. Why start so low?
This is for the baritone.
I was right in my face. Look at Marquise, if y'all can see him. Marquise, you just had a birthday.
Yeah, November 8th, Scorpio gang. Yeah.
Damn, my best friend is a Scorpio. All right, so tell the people how old you turned, 30, 21?
So I am not out of my 20s yet, so I am at the last year. I'm 29.
Glorious.
A lot of things happen at 29.
Yeah.
So many things.
How does it
Dog.
feel, Marquise? Happy birthday, baby.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Thank you. 20s are fucking whack, dog. Like it's not necessarily that they're whack. It's just taking forever to get out of them.
True.
Because like everything happens in your 20s, right? You're like once you in the start of your 20s, you're like at that halfway point of college. You know, you're supposed to be like getting out of college at this point, and then finding your job. You know, the job you're supposed to have for however long you're supposed to have for
if that's
it.
your path.
And then that's your path, and then people like also start to expect you like this is like where you just moved out of childhood, and now you're like really starting to like, all right, be an adult, and you're just like, I don't know how to do this shit. And then
Nobody knows.
No.
Exactly. And then it's like you're also in the mid to late 20s. You're just supposed to find love, and women are expected to have a baby at this.
Don't get me started.
Because
30s.
30s. So then it's like, the 20s is like you're supposed to be figuring things out, and then by the time you hit 30, you're supposed to have shit figured out. But the 20s is just a clusterfuck of life.
Well, nigga, you got 1 year, and after that, you better have your shit figured out. It's like, no, that's a joke. Clearly, I feel like my life as an adult really, truly did not begin until I turned 30. Like in hindsight, when I look back, like for the past 2 years, because I'm only 32, for the past 2 years, I feel like, okay, now maybe I'm starting to perhaps get an understanding of what this whole adulting shit is potentially supposed to look like. And so no pressure, honey.
Yeah, no, because I feel like 20s is supposed to be for like, it's still supposed to be for chaos, right? Because you spend the first 18, 19 years of your life like being a kid, right? And then 20s should be that transitional period, that transitional decade of chaos. Like, just doing whatever the fuck. Like, it's just.
I think 30 is also the same.
I don't doubt that.
Chaos don't just disappear over one day from a birthday.
Yeah, So
I'm looking forward to 30. Like,
You're 30, right?
Yep.
Erica?
I'm looking forward to it. I feel good about 30.
Oh, I loved turning 30. I'm telling you, I had a physical experience on my 30th birthday that I just felt like I was coming into. Like, I'm dead serious. I tell everybody that when I explain to them how it was. Don't be afraid to laugh. It's fine. How it was for me turning 30. I mean, I had a whole jam session, live band party at my house at the time. It was just beautiful. It was called Beloved 30. I named my birthday party.
Wait,
it was
that
amazing.
The one I was there for?
Yes, Marquise was in the building doing free fucking massages. I forgot.
For the birthday? Dang.
Yes.
That was an interesting day.
Came in a year too late.
I had a great time, and since then, I've just been enjoying. How you feel about being 30? E?
I hate it.
What? Are you kidding me? 30
like
for 5 minutes.
I've been 30 for a few months. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
No, I don't. I mean, it's much like your 20s. You're still figuring things out. It's no crossover, and then you magically some 30-year-old. It's like everything. Your body's gonna go through changes. Your life's gonna be going
now
through
that's a
changes.
fact.
So
Because
It is
knee
what it is.
problems came out the motherfucking blue.
back hurt.
Hips.
That
I be
shit
"Wait,
happens
what
to me
the heck
now."
is going on?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're close. How did you celebrate? Did you do anything special for your birthday?
So Friday, which was my actual birthday, we went to me and a group of friends went to dinner at this Indian place called Karma down at like 3rd and Market.
Shout out to Karma.
So I mean, the food good, but they ain't paying us.
I was about to say.
You shouted out Green Soul for them
But-
tacos, so I'm just
but
saying.
Green Soul is something that you.
I'm
okay.
affiliated with. Got it. All right.
Alright.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I
makes
mean,
sense.
the homie Hannah, shout out Hannah, she was like up in that bitch, like she was halfway ran the place. So, all good. But so we went there for dinner, and then for the weekend we went to the Poconos. Me and my wife went to the Poconos. So yeah,
That was beautiful.
Yeah, we were gifted a weekend stay up there.
Ooh, favor. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
Shout out
So
to
that was-
you. Our bro. Turning 29, joining the 30s club next year.
Don't.
I
Skip
want
to
it.
your
I
40s.
want it now.
Run,
Whoa.
run to
40s.
our
I feel like the
30s.
40s
Are you
are better.
Nah.
Yes.
You
Listen,
are-
you
are
haven't broken into your 30s
29
yet, right?
Yeah, like you.
Can
just,
y'all relax? I'm just talking about my experience as a 30-year-old.
You just
Can we
got the
let
new
a year
shoe.
go by before we call it an
No.
experience?
You
It
just
is
got
an
the new shoe.
experience.
You ain't break into it
I
yet.
broke it in. I ran in. It's got a hole in it at this point.
Interesting.
God dang.
Well, Friday while you were at the Indian restaurant, Indian you said, right?
Yeah.
Indian restaurant. I was just touching down. I had just gotten back from NOLA.
All right.
I spent a week. Oh, Lord. Just that exhale is needed because of what this trip meant to my life. I spent the week in New Orleans with a few of my very closest friends just for vacation purposes, which I emphasize that because so often I'm traveling for work. And like this time I got to just go, be drunk, sleep,
Hey.
relax,
Shout out to that.
be more drunk again, do lots and lots of twerking.
Hey.
okay.
Learn about the history of NOLA in between twerks. Like it
Throw
was
that
just
ass
a
360.
yes. Shout out to my besties who were there, Tony, Drake, Shakima, my sis. We had a great time, and some of my favorite moments from that week, there were two things in particular. First of all, we did this bar crawl on Bourbon Street, and have you guys ever been to New Orleans? Mm-hmm.
I have
Like
not.
as an adult? Let me tell you.
It's an experience.
First of all, we went
wanna
during
go.
the week, right? So we weren't even there for the weekend, but still we're on Bourbon Street until like 3:30 in the morning. Absolutely amazing party atmosphere. Granted, that was one day of the week because I am 32. So after I spent time on Bourbon Street bar crawling, taking all the shots, doing all the twerking on a Tuesday, I was cool for the rest of the week. By the time I woke up, Wednesday,
That's 30.
I was like,
what did
"Woo,
I
child."
In your 20s,
She
you'll
had
be
to
like, let's do
recover.
it again. In your
I
30s,
was
you're like, I'm
the
good.
next night they did go out. My sister's only 26, 27. The next night they was like, all right, where we at? I was like, I'ma go back to the condo and go to sleep. But that was a highlight for me. Like we got to experience Bourbon Street, like you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
partying and turning up. And then another key moment for me, we took this bus tour that really took us all throughout the city, just on some tourist shit. But we ended up in the 9th Ward, and I was able to be like very, very close, like less than 20 feet, I'd say, from like the actual breach levees, like where the levees actually breach. And I was able to experience what is still very apparent as devastation from Hurricane Katrina, although Hurricane Katrina happened 14 years ago. And that was just very important to me. So I'm very grateful to New Orleans for what it contributed, not only to just my relaxation and my mentality, my wellness, my, self-care and all of that, but the turn up as well. Like, it was
Yeah.
great. I enjoyed it. When were you in New Orleans?
2 or 3 years ago? It had to been like 2, yeah. But the experience for me, the thing I remember the most is the food.
Yeah,
It's like none
See,
other.
It's so crazy as you say that, right? Because that's one of the main things I went down there in anticipation for, and we did eat a lot. However, I gotta be honest, like what I experienced, the things that I experienced, did not compare to Charlotte, which is another place that I spend a lot of time in because one of my best friends relocated there. And Charlotte's cuisine is like shitting on Nola's. At least what I experienced while I was there. Granted, that's a limited. But I mean, we were there for a week, and I was just like, okay, all right, this is good. But I was expecting to this shit to be orgasmic or something, and it wasn't really that.
Mine was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. I have no complaints. The broiled oysters.
See, I ain't even get into
and then they put cheese on it. Oh God, man, it was good. Okay,
that got good to her.
It got real good.
What are some of your favorite places that you have visited, just in your travels and your travel experiences? For me, if I'm starting, I would have to say Toronto was one of like the best places for me. It wasn't really so much one of the greatest experiences because I went on a girls trip, and anybody who knows me know that I'm not really too fond of girls trips, but the city itself is gorgeous. It was great that was the last time I got out of the country, and I enjoyed it. So what about y'all?
You go ahead, Marquise.
I haven't really gotten to like experience other places for long periods of time.
Right.
Like a couple years ago, me and my wife went to Vegas, and that was fun.
Vegas. Vegas is a party, honey.
So neither of us are like gamblers nor strip people. So
yeah.
So and where we stayed was in like Old Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on the Fremont strip. So that was cool. We the most fun I had though, we went out to the desert and did like ATVs and dune buggies. Ooh. That was real fun.
That's an experience.
Yeah, we didn't get to catch any shows, unfortunately. We were only there for like a couple of days.
Gotcha, yeah.
So there was that, and then there was this like really great Indian place out there.
So we have a fan of Indian food.
Yes.
Okay, in our midst. Got it.
But they say Fremont is more popping than on certain nights. Like
should
go down there versus the strip.
It was because we did like get a moment to get on like the main strip, and it was just like a lot of people just walking like in directions. And it was like it was all right. But yeah, Fremont, it was cool. It was real cool. So we went there. I've been to Oakland for a week. I was in a competition, so I was like there working.
Yeah.
But Oakland was cool. I fuck around and go back to Oakland again.
That's cool.
And like I've been on cruises, so like I've been places for like a day.
I have not been on a cruise yet in my adult life, and me and my friends are actually planning to go on a cruise next year, so I'm excited about that. That's lit. What's like one of your favorite places that you travel to, E?
I really love Vegas. I could do Vegas every year. I did it for my birthday
Word?
this year. Yeah, I did it for 25. I did it for 30. I'll do it for 31. I really love Vegas. I don't know why, but I like Barbados. That was cool. It was chill. It wasn't like a turn. I mean, I was young, but it wasn't like a turn up type of thing. But
never been to Barbados.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Cancun was all right.
They
had a nice party.
Cancun was lit for me. They little strip. I experienced a little strip.
It's
right there.
Thing,
the little cul-de-sac, you might as well call it.
Yeah, no, really it is. But that's it. I mean,
I had
a
blast when I went to Cancun. That was a spring break vacation for me. That was dope. What are some bucket list vacation destinations? Like before I kick the bucket, I want to visit this place. For me, there's a lot of places that I want to visit, but internationally, definitely Africa. I've never, ever, 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 ever been to Africa, and that is a place that I want to get to soon. Really, I want to go before
specifically
I'm 40.
Where?
South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. And within the United States, people be so shocked to believe that I've never been to LA. I've never been to Atlanta. So I want to go just, peep the little industry scene and see what's happening.
Last year I was down in Atlanta, and I got some homies down there. And Atlanta's fun, especially when you know where to go.
Yeah.
But, dog, there's this joint down there called Bonfire ATL.
Okay.
Every Sunday night, there's this big-ass party in Atlanta in this like big ass warehouse.
Okay.
All run by black people.
Hello.
And
shout out to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can find it on Instagram, Bonfire ATL. Yes. You can find it.
I'm sorry.
We're not cutting it out either. We're not cutting it out.
Sorry, Marquise.
I don't know. Either way, you can find it on IG at Bonfire ATL, and this is like a big ass party. They got 3 different sections of like the what is that? This like the silent party Jones. Like you got the
Have you ever been to a silent party?
No,
I
not yet.
love silent parties.
So it's like 3 different DJs. You can tune in whatever. Like they all have their own headphones. So it's like
their own stations. Yeah.
yeah. So you can tune into that. They got like games, vendors. Everybody smoking weed.
I
Like,
was
it's
about
just-
to say, I don't know why when you said bonfire ATL, I immediately thought this a weed party. I
mean,
immediately thought that.
Yeah.
That's
there
just
is a
me.
bonfire there. Like a bonfire actually does happen. But yeah, no, everybody like
I
smoking
wasn't
weed and
mad
shit.
at it. I'm just saying. you
But
know.
nah, it was lit as hell. Like on a Sunday
Yeah.
night, like every Sunday.
So when I said ATL, LA, I want to check out really just the atmosphere overall, but also the industry. You made a face.
You made a good point. Maybe I didn't know the right spots to go to in ATL, but I didn't enjoy it in that way. It was like very touristy, like, oh, this is here's the Coca-Cola factory, here's this, here's that.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't really enjoy it. Now, if I had somebody to show me around, like
Yeah.
the parts, then maybe I would enjoy it more.
I
But
think that's
LA
what
is
it's-
a vibe. I would move there tomorrow if I had the money.
I've never been
Everybody's moving
there.
there.
Bye, y'all.
That oh my god,
It's
I've
a
never
vibe.
been.
Like as soon as you touch down, that's my vibe. It's not everybody's vibe. It's
Right.
not everybody's
No, but
speed.
I've been told that it would be
Just
my vibe.
got to make sure you get a hold of your 3 other roommates.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you gotta live with 10 people. You either rich or you poor.
yeah. I heard
Rich
about
or you
that.
poor in LA. Seriously. But-
Shout out to all my homies that's in LA. I'm
Yeah.
coming to visit soon. Period. I'll be there. I have to do some more traveling. I think traveling is important, particularly for me and folks like me, us being just kind of like young and before children and all of this kind of stuff. Just getting out there, exposing yourself to different things. As a child, I traveled a lot because my parents were in the military. So, I even lived in Germany for some time. But of course, the older I got and when things started becoming my own financial responsibility, traveling started to slow down just a little bit. But yeah, that's something that I want to get into. Speaking of military parents.
Shout out to your moms.
Yesterday was Veterans Day observed. Any veterans in your family?
Yeah.
My mom was a sergeant in the Army, so was my father. God rest his soul. My father was in the Army as well. That's how my parents met. And so, yeah, I shouted out my mom on Facebook yesterday for Veterans Day. That was pretty much the
Shout
extent
out
of
to
my
your
celebration.
moms.
You have relatives? Talk about-
Yeah, Marine dad, Navy mom.
Ow.
So, yeah.
So do you guys observe Veterans Day? Like how? What do you do? Cook out?
I make a post. Like most
Celebrating
millennials,
millennial
I
style.
make a post and I
be honest.
stop
I
for
shout
5
out-
minutes.
I put a shout out in the air.
Yeah.
I reluctantly put the post because I gotta be honest. Y'all know my brain is different. A part of me is like Veterans Day. I don't really like to endorse anything that surrounds serving this particular country that I am not always, most times, a huge fan of. But then I also feel obligated because, first of all, I come from a military family, so I feel a bit of an obligation to okay, hats off to you and your choice to be selfless and give yourself for America.
So what I said to my wife was, shout out. It's funny how this country is so keen and hip to celebrating Veterans Day, but will treat veterans like actual shit.
True.
So,
that
I
deserved a bomb or an air
I give much respect to veterans. This country, not so much.
Yeah.
Whatever
it.
for whatever reason you served this country is for whatever reason you did it. But you did. There's a specific thing that you did.
Yeah.
And you were able, some were able to come back alive.
Yeah.
A smaller portion who were able to come back alive were able to come back alive stable and
Facts.
sane because that shit
Facts.
will.
That's a totally different situation.
And and much love to those who didn't make it out.
Yeah.
So whatever your reason for was going in, I respect and salute the veterans.
That helps me because I get frustrated with this country when holidays like Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and particularly the 4th of July, but that's a whole nother can of worms. But I'm always reluctant. Like, first of all, I'm not a huge holiday person, period. But when it comes to these particular days that are observed, I'm always torn because you know, there is a certain personal tie that I have, but then at the same time, as an adult, I now hold my own set of beliefs and my own, you know, set of values. And so that what you just shared was helpful. Thank you.
This country would much rather celebrate than actually face what this day actually means.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, so shout out to the VAs.
Well said.
Shout out to
Happy
the
Veterans Day to all veterans across America. Speaking of veterans, veteran rapper T.I. made headlines this week after publicly sharing that he travels with his daughter Deja to the gynecologist annually. I'm sorry, this is not funny. To ensure that her hymen is still intact. Now, according to the New York Post at nypost.com, he literally goes with her every single year to her point. Now, up until this point, because she's now 18, right? So she just recently turned 18, and he professed on his podcast, Expeditiously, that he is proud to announce across a public platform that her hymen is still intact. Now, according to E! News, she has apparently unfollowed her father on Instagram following these comments, even though she has yet to publicly address the rapper's shocking interview. Now, E-Mac, I'm going to throw this to you. You know, as a woman whose father is present, as Marquise so eloquently
Shout out to
pointed
Erica's
out
dad for being there.
last time we were together.
Man.
Tell me your thoughts on this, because this is kind of crazy to me.
Okay, I think it's an ignorant statement because your hymen is it could
Father.
break for many different reasons. You could be on a bike and that thing can be, you know what I mean? You can do anything. You can do a split. It can happen for many various reasons. I think it's a sense of control, which it's definitely a double standard, because if you're not going to your son's doctor's appointments to make sure he's not, you know, or he is still a virgin.
How can you? Yeah, but and then yeah. How
You know,
do even
you
do
can't,
this?
and that's an invasion. I feel like it's an invasion of privacy. My dad has never, ever said, "Oh, is your hymen still intact?" Like, that's crossing the line.
That's crossing the line. So that
Like,
is crossing a line.
That's crossing a line that no man needs to be trying to control somebody like that. If your daughter is going to have sex, she's going to have sex. Now, you should teach her what are the consequences, and you should be protected. You should absolutely do that for your daughter, but making her feel that your love is connected to her virginity that's not a mental thing that she needs to go
I'm glad
through.
that you shared that, because for me, I'm first of all, I'm always hesitant to kind of like publicly chime in on certain things that's going on. But then I also was like, okay, well, I don't have, and I never had like a father around constantly to really kind of have anything to compare it to when it comes to what is crossing a line, what is a boundary. I mean, just admittedly, I'm not 100% sure about what that looks like. So to hear that from you is refreshing, because I'm like, that does affirm and validate how I already was feeling. And just to go back, the actual quote from nypost.com speaks that the backlash from both fans and celebrities was swift, and many called the rapper out for the outdated practice, which was referred to as a violation of human rights of girls and women, and to piggyback off what you said, has no actual scientific validity. So a person can't determine whether or not you're a virgin by
Based on
checking your hymen. Marquise.
Yo, I wish I could see his face right now.
What's wrong, baby?
Because fuck this nigga T.I., right? So for the longest time, I have called T.I. a very eloquent fuckboy. And it is more, and I'm glad it's just more apparent. Because this nigga does stupid shit all the time. And it's... And
I actually like T.I.
See, no, here's the thing.
Wow.
He has this he just has this very flip-flop hypocrisy to him. And especially when he was doing that whole road to redemption thing when he was going to jail. And he was like, "Oh, I'm turning my life back over. I'm being dip, and then does the stint and then comes back out and then is just on some old popping bottles, money shit. And it's like, I guess that's hip hop, whatever. But T.I. is just, he's never consistent with it. And like he'll do like, and there are things where he like, every Christmas, like there was a Christmas where he just like went into a Walmart and just like everybody, who had stuff in line, he paid for everybody's like stuff, for Christmas and everything. Like, so he like has these moments of, he like does these really great things, and then he has these moments like this where he just does really stupid shit.
Do y'all think it's true
that he does this?
Yeah.
God forbid if it ain't true.
So whether
daughter should have said it wasn't true if it wasn't true. I feel like it is. I feel like it is true. I feel like it is.
Because she like, so here's a few things. Here's a few things that she did. One, she did unfollow him on Instagram. Two, she also liked various posts of people like coming at him. So, and whether because there was another statement that he made a couple years back of whether, he was joking or not, where he was saying that Hillary wasn't fit to be president because she's a woman. And because they're like mad emotional, and this, that, and the third. So like people are like, oh, he was just joking. It's like I
believe him to be a misogynist. Like that doesn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? And that's dangerous.
Yeah, and it's just like even if these are jokes, right? There's also things like there's also things as stupid ass jokes or jokes that ain't funny, right? So it's like and it's like you only backtrack these things once people start calling you out on it.
He hasn't made a public remark yet.
Whether he will or not, who knows?
The man's giving me like grandfather tease right now. Like, you just dated and saying anything out your mouth.
Boom. So all this happens, and he says there are multiple things that he says. He says, yes, the doctor told him that the hymen can break for many instances, including riding a bike and horseback riding. His response to the doctor was, well, she don't ride horses and she don't ride bikes. Right. So just sign this paper. So he was telling his daughter to sign this paper so
he can tell me.
So your doctor can tell me that your hymen's intact and I can get going.
But this
How
is my
humiliating.
There it is. I was about to say that. Like, if I go back to what I said about that love being connected to the virginity. If my father only loves me or will provide or will be there for me if I'm a virgin, then what if at a young age she made a mistake and she didn't, like you're exploring and you're like, oh, let me try this out. Then you got to wait. I mean, you're like, you feel humiliated. You feel down the whole time. You don't feel like you can be honest with your dad. You don't feel like he's going to love you. Now you feel like sex is dirty. And that also puts a bad thing in your mind like, oh, I did this absolutely dirty thing. And then when you get older, that it plays on your psyche when you're with the love of your life. You know what I mean?
Did he say he was retracting his provision if she had lost her
but
virginity?
why else would you need to check her hymen?
Yeah, and so here's a few other things about it. There was, so all of that happened. And then also in the article, he was saying that, well, first of all, he only started this when she turned 16. So this is only, so it's not like he's been doing this all the time. He only just started doing this.
Still.
Yes, no, I mean, it doesn't make it any better.
I'm like, okay,
it doesn't make it any better. But also, it's like the thought process of like, because he was saying that no man will want to like stick around like if she's a virgin because it won't be like worth
That's
it.
A
Like
double standard. That's a double standard.
Especially because on the TV show, the
Hustle.
Yeah, the
Family
John.
and Friends Hustle.
It was his son. Who's a high school senior is having sex.
Yep.
It's sexually active.
Yep.
So it's just like it's specifically for his daughter.
Yeah.
It's specifically for his now 18-year-old daughter.
But see, this unwraps another discussion of, because this double standard exists. Now, I won't say that men go as far as checking the hymen.
That's weird.
But
hell.
It's weird. It's humiliating. Don't do it no more, T.I. It is a double standard that we experience with men with their daughters versus their son, and women with their daughters versus their sons. That we are harder on the girls, and we let the boys go and do whoever they want.
Why do you think that is? Why? Do we put more trust in our male sons?
No,
give
not
them
at all.
a pass.
It's because there's the aspect of, oh, boys should just run out, do whatever, sow their wild oats, but girls should also remain virgins and like pure, to save themselves for the man that they love. So it's like we have these same things. Like boys go out and do whatever, girls stay locked and hidden. But like, who are these boys supposed to be chasing
And that's
after?
why
And
dating
then-
is such an Olympic sport.
And then there's the aspect of like these girls are trying to save themselves, right? And these boys are trying to get it no matter what. So then there's also the misogynistic practice of go and attack until she says yes. So then there's like this whole other
Rape
thing of like
culture.
like breaking it, breaking
Lord.
into
Oh,
women.
I got a virgin. That's a major thing. Like what?
I'm so
Like
sick
you
of
want,
this.
and they want women to be, virgin tight, but also have the experience, like 30 years experience, of sex. So it's just like,
This is wild.
it's absolutely ridiculous. Also,
You can fuck up,
T.I.,
T.I.
also T.I. believes that half of Tiny's vagina belongs to him.
Oh yes, I saw that. I saw that. And I was
Wait, what do you mean?
I was
Explain.
hoping
Explain.
to God that was a joke. I really was. But
What do you
he
mean?
said
What
that
does he
publicly.
mean?
And in the aspect of like he was saying like because they're not getting a divorce, that because they are married, that
Half of her vagina belongs
so
to him.
like
He has ownership
she can't just
over
take
half
it
of her
away because
coochie.
half that is his. Even though I think they're not completely together.
She
but they're
cannot
not
decide
separated.
to withhold sex from him because he owns a portion of her vag.
Because they're married.
Is basically what he was saying. And that's so insane. Like, come on, T.I. Like, come on. I need you to just stop. Like,
No,
for
but
real,
I feel like
because-
over time it's being
I
revealed.
fuck with T.I., but I need him to
His
really
music or
stop.
him? See, this is.
I mean, I fuck with T.I.
Oh.
I do. I've been a fan of T.I.'s for years. I mean, I don't always, I enjoy the way he interviews. I enjoy a lot of the things that he stands for and a lot of the things that he talks about. I really do. I enjoy his presence on the Revolt Summit as of late. I just enjoy, but then, like Marquise said, you gotta.
He's an eloquent fuckboy.
I'm really upset at these shenanigans.
But I'm not
laughing,
shocked.
But it's not funny.
I'm not shocked because
Right.
people
I'm
reveal
not shocked
themselves.
anymore
Nobody
about
can do
anything.
anything to shock me except for give me the little and shock me like literally clear. Like that's the only thing that will shock me in the world anymore because people do some wild stuff. I feel bad. I'm sorry that this happened to his daughter, Deja. I'm so
We
sorry. Like
sorry,
you don't have
Deja.
to go through that. And then for him to say it out loud.
Where's
it's-
mom? Does mom have a Twitter account?
Well, I would have. I mean,
If I was mom, I'd be fucking Twitter up right now. Something. Come to your. You right about that.
And
Can't
that's
mess the money
somebody
up. It's a
said
goddamn shame.
somebody was saying that
I'm ready to move on from this.
maybe that was like the stipulation for her to do, and it was like, oh, if you don't do, cut off your money or something like that.
Sucks.
Like
if
it
that's
does,
the case, that's
you
a
know?
speculation nonetheless. But still, like, there's no reason
Yeah.
for him to be checking
But
his daughter's hymen.
a gem that did come out of this was somebody on the internet said T.I. gonna be really upset when he found out she having sex other ways.
Hello, cause this other. What?
shout out to Deja for paying
Yes.
the doctor to say that.
Hello. Shout out to Deja for cutting the check. Deja,
As-
it's cool, baby.
Shout
Your
out to you,
secret's
Deja.
safe
Or
with
as they
us.
would say in
We
Philly,
already know.
backdoor dickhead.
That is a Philly line. Oh my God.
Your secret's safe with us, boo boo.
Yeah,
And
no,
she
we already.
is really
She
beautiful.
paid the doctor. She paid the doctor.
You 18 now, honey.
Do what you
rock out.
Do what you
Listen.
want, baby. Do what you
Listen,
want, and don't
rappers-
let nobody try to.
Yeah, I was about to but I want you to get that message to Deja. Get that message. Don't let nobody wait.
Don't let nobody lock you down.
Don't let nobody strong arm you into letting them know what your hymen working with, dog. It's your hymen.
It's yours. It's yours.
The hymen belongs to. All right. In other news, rappers definitely continue to make headlines this week as Drake is reportedly booed while performing at Tyler the Creator's annual Camp Flog Gnaw Carnival in Los Angeles. Now, according to a fan quote published by CNN.com, the crowd was actually initially excited to receive Drake, but started to boo when he repeatedly asked if they wanted him to continue, because apparently they were expecting Frank Ocean, and this was highly anticipated. Marquise, chime in on this for us.
So there are a few things about this. One, it's fucking hilarious.
You think
because
it's hilarious?
oh yeah,
He ended
absolutely.
his set 20 minutes early. He was like,
It's absolutely hilarious. So I'm a
and Tyler the Creator was pissed.
So I'm gonna give y'all a quote from a friend of mine who posted about this on Facebook. He said, and shout out to Femi in Baltimore.
Shout out Femi.
He said, "Damn, they booed Drake off stage. Tyler Creator is clearly tone deaf to his audience. He's built his career being anti-establishment, and his fans followed suit. Then he brings the franchise player for the establishment to his festival. Hope he learned something."
Well said, Femi. Well
And it's just like, well, first of all, no one said Frank Ocean was coming, so they just had this idea in their mind.
Right.
No
That
one
was
said
never
Frank.
announced.
There were
Right.
no one said. There was just a special guest. And Tyler actually went off on Instagram, on Twitter about this.
I saw it. You about to pull up some quotables?
Yeah,
I saw
he
it.
went all the way off about
He was
it.
disappointed, but to Finney's point, I mean,
And like Tyler himself said, it was a bit tone deaf.
it's the Camp Flog Gnaw Carnival. What does that even mean? Anyone? Do we
Marcus?
have a cricket sound effect? Do we have crickets?
Yeah, like Tyler said, I thought bringing one of the biggest artists of the fucking planet to a music festival was fire, but flip side, a little tone deaf, knowing the specific crowd it drew.
Right.
So created a narrative. Some created a narrative in their head and acted out like assholes who didn't come true when it didn't come true, and he don't fuck with it.
I appreciate him coming to not so much Drake's rescue, but I do appreciate him taking a stand publicly, using his little platform to be like, hey, calm down, that wasn't cool. But by the same token, it's just like, damn, did you kind of set him up to get like that was a little strange.
Yeah, because it was just like, you know, it just proves that, you know, even no matter how big you are, nigga, you can get booed. Like it's like
It's true.
Like, you know, it's
True.
even though Drake has at this point over 10 years of hits, and like
I'm a huge
But
Drake
why
fan.
did
Let me
they
just go on
only
record for
boo?
saying
I'm
that.
asking. They only booed because it wasn't Frank Ocean.
So, according to Tyler, it wasn't even it was like the front row kind of. No, they booed because they wanted Frank. They
He
were
had
just
already started-
expecting in their mind that
But
Frank
he had-
Ocean was going to be
so
there.
for clarity, he had already performed for a good 15 minutes. And according to that article that I quoted, the young lady said, he kept saying, this is going to be my last song, this is going to be my last song. Y'all want me to keep going, y'all want me to keep going. And when he created that kind of energy, like for audience response, they were booing to let him know, no nigga, get off stage, we want Frank. Like that type of thing. So it's not like as soon as he came on stage, they were just like, boo, get
Yeah,
the
no,
fuck
I
outta
don't
here.
blame Tyler. I don't blame Drake. I blame the audience on that.
Yeah,
Because
and-
somebody is giving their time. You ain't got to act ignorant like that.
Yeah, and
Right.
Tyler said like y'all,
Yeah.
like
Like-
y'all making us look and
Like,
entitled.
yeah.
You know, because he was saying that most of the people were fucking with it. It was just a large enough group of people that were just like, because like Drake did say, he was like and from the article I was reading, it was like, you know, he was getting like trying to pull a reaction out of them. So he was like, y'all good? Y'all want me to keep going? It was like, no. He was like, all right, my name is Drake. Thank y'all for
Right.
having me.
Literally.
The real gem out of this was what Drake posted on his Instagram.
Oh,
later.
yes. Now this going to be, get the bomb drop ready.
Plot twist, just signed a 10-year residency at Camp Flognaw. Sorry, kids. See you every single year until you're 30.
Period. Any Tyler the Creator fans between the two of y'all?
Yes.
You're a
I
Tyler
am.
the Creator fan.
I am.
Are you?
I've only heard like I haven't delved
I
into
don't
his
listen
career.
to his music. Describe what you think his demographic would be, what his music is. Like, what type of artist is he that it was such a contrast for him to have Drake on his bill? I'm so confused.
I really don't think it's that much. I mean, contrast, yes, there is a contrast. Like, Tyler, the Creator's audience, to me, is like more youthful, carefree, like they wild.
Are they black?
Yeah, they black.
Okay.
But he got black and white.
Okay.
Drake, I feel like he's just older. Like, we're older now. Drake came out, how many years ago?
I love
a decade? 10?
Drake
So
came
the
out-
people that love Tyler, the Creator, and him,
It's
just
an
two
age
different-
thing.
I feel that way. But Drake is still enough of he's a big enough star that shouldn't have happened. That's why I'm
Right.
saying it was the audience, because
Yeah.
it's like saying that Patti LaBelle on stage, but you don't want to see her because you want to see Ariana Grande. Like, you know what I mean?
Why he ain't
Yeah.
just bring Jay and Smith? Ain't they like lovers on the road or something like that?
It's
Nah.
It's
That's a
probably
rumor?
because like
I ain't
it's
heard
it's
You ain't never heard that? Marquise, you heard that.
It was,
Even if it was a rumor and a joke, you definitely heard it.
I heard it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
alright.
it's like because I think Tyler wanted Drake there more than anybody else.
Okay, probably, yeah.
Like-
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Drake is big.
He is.
Drake is big, and he has hits. And it shouldn't have went. I don't think it should have went down. Like
I'd
that.
have went the
Who-
fuck off if I was in that audience. Not that I would have been in that audience, but
he did what he could do. Like he is a star. He don't have to sit
Period.
there and get booed. He be
No.
like, all right, peace.
Listen,
Bye.
I
he
go by the
got-
name Drake.
Listen,
He definitely said that and
Yes,
went out.
listen,
And
he
bye.
got paid
Regardless.
for a whole shift,
Period,
and he
boo.
only did half a shift. I'm just saying, like,
Hey.
listen, he did
I
half a shift, got
supported-
paid for a whole day.
Okay.
Period.
Came
That
in.
check
and
got cut.
Okay. Before he hit the stage, he had
Shout
the
out
money.
to
So
Josh.
That's hilarious. Wow, I'm sorry that you got booed though, Drake.
yeah,
Listen.
no, Drake don't.
Drake ain't sorry.
Drake don't deserve to get booed. Not with his
I don't
catalog.
want nobody getting booed, even if he don't give a fuck. That's not
No,
like don't nobody want to be sitting up there
his-
hearing somebody boo. I
Drake
don't care if it's two people.
Drake deserves to get booed for other reasons.
All right, we ain't got because we already
He ain't
done.
checking nobody
We
hymen.
already.
Drake ain't.
But he
around.
paying the cops, so there's that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Nope. You done said it. Nope. We gotta go there now. What do you mean?
Allegedly.
Paying the cops?
Allegedly.
No,
We don't got that much time.
no. Look at the God's Plan video. He gave $50,000 to Miami PD
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, that's fine. But I thought you meant like paying the cops.
for a nigga that said,
Drake ain't from the street, y'all.
He
I
is a
realize
that.
super suburban kid.
Yeah, so I don't know why people would like take his music and think it's some type of hood thing. He on
I'm
the
just
cop
saying-
side regardless.
I
Like,
mean, but I'm just
No, I don't
saying
wanna talk about this.
he's
I
had
already done
lyrics
lost-
that have been like
he does, but
you know,
as
I mean,
a real human being, I know that okay, that's his fantasy. He ain't out there shooting.
I'm just
like,
saying.
he ain't never had to do
I
that.
already
he
done
went
lost
from Degrassi
respect
to
You
From
giving-
one
Drake.
you giving
person that I
stacks
was
to
a
the-
huge fan of. I cannot afford to lose 2 stars that I was a fan of in this one damn episode.
No, ain't no
Doses,
point in
please.
losing Drake, but y'all just need to know the truth that
because I
there's
love Drake.
there's a Drake. He thinks he's a gangster, and then there's the real Drake. It's like
Drake
it's
don't think
okay
he
to
no
be
gangster.
mob.
Yes,
Mob.
He
Ties.
just understands that he
excuse me.
has street cred.
He has a whole song called Mob Ties,
Drake, cut it out, baby.
but giving
See,
stacks
that's not
to
what
the-
I'm listening
giving
to.
stacks
I'm
to
not
Miami
listening to Mob
PD.
Ties.
Yeah, no. Drake. Look, we already know that. Look, I listen to Drake not for like some type of relation to the hood. Like,
So basically,
no,
what you're
like-
saying is that at Drake's house and his family house on Thanksgiving, there's going to be raisins in the potato salad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. yeah. He got raisins, but he grew up. He probably grew up with the raisins. in
That's
there. Like,
terrible.
It is what it is.
How
Drake,
can he be invited to the cookout?
he can always be invited to the cookout. You always
Not
have
if he
somebody
bringing
that
his
ain't from the
mom's
hood.
Raisinette ass
He-
fucking
no,
potatoes.
don't bring nothing. Drake,
bring yourself.
Yeah, that's what we extend to Drake.
Deep
Bring
breaths.
yourself. Bring your rhymes. We'll take them. They're a good cadence. It's a good time when I put on some Drake.
That was a
But
close
I'm
call,
not
y'all.
expecting
You know,
to be.
he gonna bring his dad with that extra bold mustache.
That was a
you know
close
what I mean?
call. You know, isn't his dad dropping music or some shit right now?
He did drop a whole album.
I just cannot. All right. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. What are y'all bringing? Do y'all celebrate Thanksgiving with y'all families?
Now, when you say, I want to dive into what do you mean by?
Black people don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
yeah, like Thanksgiving. What do you mean by celebrate? Do you mean do we say?
Do you acknowledge
hey,
the holiday?
No, as what? A time to get together, a time of thanks, or
My
like are we
question is-
saying
my
the
question-
pilgrims? We like, yeah, thank you to the pilgrims who just.
My question ends after the word holiday. Do you acknowledge the holiday? Let me help you out. I do not acknowledge the holiday. At all, period. Do
So
I
you
enjoy
don't-
getting together with my family? Sure, I'm not gonna boycott dinner because I'm not gonna boycott dinner. That's what I'm not gonna do. In fact, I'm making a mac and cheese and a garlic mash this year, period. But I don't get to see my family that much. And so they could be doing this shit on any given fucking day. I'm not gonna boycott it. It don't matter.
Absolutely.
But do I acknowledge Thanksgiving? No, I don't. I don't celebrate most holidays, but yeah. So my question is, do you acknowledge the holiday? That's a real simple question.
No, it's not as loaded as I don't know what to me because, like you said, I don't think most families, not even just black families, I think American families, period, they're not sitting around saying, "Oh my goodness, like Thanksgiving." They're not thinking of the pilgrims.
When
They
motherfuckers
not
say,
think-
Them
wait,
whites
y'all.
are.
Listen,
yeah,
no,
when motherfuckers
no,
say Happy
y'all,
Thanksgiving
no.
to me, I do not acknowledge
wait,
it.
y'all. I think it's a time. I think we all have the same mentality. It's a time to be with your family. It's a time to give thanks for a year of whatever. I don't know, whatever God you believe in, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's a time to get together. That's what I see it as in America.
I
don't see nobody going out and picking up like pilgrim. Like I think there are some.
Well, the give thanks part, I separate from. I'm giving thanks every goddamn day. Like that's just how I am. No,
right.
seriously.
No.
When I say I don't acknowledge the holiday, I do not acknowledge the holiday. So that's my question. Do
No,
you
I
acknowledge the holiday?
Erica, I know what you're saying, but like, no, there is still, because we live in the country that we live in. Like a lot of, especially white families, like do still like the whole thing of the pilgrims and all that good stuff, because we still have because I shared a post about this. I think it was either earlier today or yesterday, how Native Americans are there is a very intentional genocide of Native Americans. In a disrespect, like I was looking at a video and they were talking about how like because Native Americans have essentially a separate law system due to the federal government, like it's like, hey, y'all, not necessarily like y'all don't really belong here, but like there, so like
Not
even if like a crime like such as a murder from a non-native person happens to a native person, Native police are not. They don't have the jurisdiction to prosecute a non-native person committing a murder or rape of a native person.
Point blank.
So it's like, so with those things still in practice, yes, there's still a large portion of people who celebrate Thanksgiving from the very roots of their ancestors coming to this land and sharing with the native peoples and
I'm gonna throw up.
this
Marquise, do you acknowledge the holiday?
No, wait. We gotta. No.
I'm gonna throw up. We almost out of time.
Because I don't know a lot of families, and I don't mean to throw it out there like I know every white
No,
person.
but you might not just know them.
I might not. You're right, but I just have never encountered a white family in the last decade. This is Erica speaking, that is saying, "Oh my goodness, thanks to the Mayflower for coming over." They're just like, "Oh, we getting together. We're gonna toss around the football. We're gonna watch the game."
I'm not okay with you decorating using a turkey with a pilgrim costume on for this holiday, like that.
That's what I'm saying is I don't see that.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I prefaced it and said Erica.
No, true.
You know what I mean?
True. I mean, I have white
so
people
in
my
regards
family.
to your question, if we're saying giving thanks or if we're saying like acknowledging the pilgrim, no, we don't celebrate like that. But if it's a time of thanks and coming together, my family does it heavy. So
I mean, I don't like celebrate Thanksgiving, but like if like, cause my family doesn't have like any particular plans for Thanksgiving, so it's like wherever I end up. I acknowledge the day off. I acknowledge that. Even though I work for myself. So
right, I'm about to say, what does that even mean?
But and acknowledge the getting together. Y'all want to pick this day? We doing it on this day. Cool. My family generally does it on Christmas. My family does Christmas dinner every year. So wherever I end up on, what the hell is it? What is it? November 23rd?
Some shit. I'm not missing no family
I don't know.
dinners. My family cooked their asses off. I'm going to be there.
But isn't that a celebration? Isn't that participating in a celebration?
Absolutely, but not of Thanksgiving. I don't acknowledge Thanksgiving at all. Like I said before, it could be on any other day. If my family got together every Sunday like they used to, I would still be showing up and wouldn't give a damn about Thanksgiving. But we don't see each other. And so that's the day that, I have family from all over this country. So with people flying in, I'm not missing a meal because motherfuckers want to deem this the day that they decided to do some bullshit.
First of all, y'all turkeys be dry anyway. No, I'm just saying.
What about Black Friday? Do y'all do y'all heavy shopping on Black Friday and all that?
No.
I'm asking. You ain't got to make the face at me. I'm asking because I want the people to get to know who we got.
I do not do anything on Black Friday. I mean, if it's a nice deal and I wanted to
What
get
about
somebody,
Cyber Monday?
I don't do Cyber Monday either. If I don't have to, first of all, my check never has lined up with
Period,
Thanksgiving.
boo. That's what it boils
My check
down
has
to.
never lined up with Thanksgiving.
Oh
I don't know
my
why,
God.
but I'm always broke that weekend.
Good.
So
Listen.
We don't
I
fuck with
always
Black
miss
Friday.
Cyber Monday.
I don't have
should
good
brag about
enough insurance to be trampled.
But why we always gotta act up on? It ain't never.
I
A good thing.
participated in Black Friday when I first was moving out my mom's house, and I stood in line in the whole 9 yards, and I got some great deals out of it, but I haven't done it since.
I feel like this: if you save up that extra $10 that they just taking off. Because I worked in retail before. All they do is hike the price up and then say that they're taking the percentage off. If you just
It's
save
all
that
a
money
game,
up
honey.
from now until Christmas, you will be fine.
Like I ain't trying to get in no fights like on a regular day, like let alone motherfucking your auntie like trying to get this goddamn
new air
scarf.
conditioner.
Why is it always?
For
Oh
next
no,
summer.
it's always TV. It's always
Really?
over the
'Cause
TV.
your
at
TV
Walmart.
Because Walmart be having like 1,000-inch TVs.
You could go on Marketplace. I got a 50-inch TV for freaking $50. You could go on Facebook. I'm just saying,
my
you
God.
could go on Facebook right now and get a freaking TV.
TV.
It's always over the
Niggas
TV.
always- how many TVs y'all need?
Yo, I swear
gotta
it's
see
never
them right
over
now.
anything else.
It be the
always,
TV.
It's always the TV.
goddamn
And it's always
TVs.
somebody holding the TV over their head with the news camera.
It be the TV.
Trying to get
Goddamn
TVs. What are y'all
TV.
doing? And
Only for
also,
them-
what
only
are
for them
y'all
to
doing
not get
every
cable.
year that you need a TV?
What happened to last year's model? What happened to it? You niggas.
I'm gonna miss y'all. We're
Yo.
not gonna see each other for a couple of weeks, a good amount of time. I'm gonna miss y'all very much. We come back together January. Thank you guys for these first 3, episodes, trial and error, and tuning in and letting us know what it is. We
No,
need
let's
to
keep
flex.
talking about these TVs.
Goddamn
These TVs.
You son of a no. It's
These freaking
no,
TVs.
like, what are y'all doing with the TV from last year? Like what's happening with the TV from last year? Your big mom.
They got too many kids in the house. And
They ain't got that many
don't even got
rooms.
cable a lot of times, and you just got all
That
these-
Fire Stick.
I mean,
well-
hey, that works too, though, because I guess I'm still like one of the only few people that still has cable.
Yeah, I don't
probably
have no
should get rid
cable.
of it.
Get rid of it. You can
Tell the
put-
people how they can follow y'all and connect with y'all on social media. Come on, Erica.
EMAC Music 18 on Instagram. Erica Mac on Facebook. I do not have Snapchat, so don't try to find me on
People
there.
still got that's still a thing.
Yeah, no, it's big now.
Is it?
Yeah, I heard. I'm not on Twitter either, but maybe I'll get back.
Marquise, how can we find you?
Y'all can find me multiple ways. You've got all of it's on Instagram. No, it's M as in my first name, Marquise, WRIG. Wow, I forgot how to spell that. MWRIGHTLEE. That's my whole name.
Say it again now.
Man, it's
What you
wild.
say?
So it's
Elemental
M.
PQRS.
Yo, it's M right with a WLEE. So it's
There you go.
MWRIGHTLEE. And since it's a podcast, they can rewind the shit. So
you can tell he's a spoken word artist.
Seriously.
WRI.
it's just I gotta enunciate. You know what I mean?
G-H-T?
So there's,
LEE.
so there's
And
that.
these TVs.
Yo, I'm finished.
But speaking about TVs and Black Friday sales, I also do like I got 2 businesses, right? So I make
sell
candles.
TVs.
Yeah, I mean I make candles. Because if I sold TVs, I'd be popping.
His candle's popping though.
You know, so
Cop
you know what I
up.
mean. So if you want to set the mood around your new TV,
Ah.
you know,
Put a little something on.
yeah,
Little
I
Netflix and
mean,
chill.
you know,
Yeah.
or you know,
Candles
if
in
you're just
the back.
trying to,
Love
you know,
Jones is on Netflix right now. Watch how you talk.
yeah, I mean, you know. You can follow me on. You can follow that account is X in the Air ACSCENTEDAIR, or A Grounding Touch is my massage business. Yeah, I mean, go book yourself a lovely massage after
Yes.
you fight the lines in Black Friday, because
Don't do
I'll
it.
be open.
Come get a massage.
I'll be
from
open
Marquise
small
Show. When I
business
tell y'all,
Saturdays,
the
you know what I
man
mean?
Don't play. Small Business Saturday. Thank you for that reminder. We'll definitely be needing to create some content around that. Y'all know me. I'm Janae Latrice. Connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at Beloved Latrice. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Janae Latrice podcast, the happy hour of podcasts where young Black creatives come together to discuss our worlds and take what we need. Until next time, y'all. I holla. Peace.
Go get your TVs.
Get them damn TVs.
Y'all get on my...